Hello,
Hello, ladies
people.
and gentlemen. We have Ms.Murder here. She wants to do a true crime thing, and I know absolutely bugger all about it. So I'm going to hand this over to her. Hello, Ms.Murder.
Hey, what's up? And hello, Doku, who is also here for the comic relief.
How's it going? Because I'm going to be able to contribute, well, probably almost nothing. So
Uh, I'm feeling just kind of lazy. I was gonna do a video, like a full-on video, and I just could not get myself motivated to do all the fucking artwork that I have to do normally, and so I just decided, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna be lazy.
I'm okay with that.
Do either of you guys have any myths, like off the top of your head, that you can think of that I
Well,
can debunk for you?
the obvious one would be heading. Oh well, actually, I don't know if you know about this, but apparently the St. Valentine's Day massacre. You know the
Mm-hmm.
wall. It's actually one of the museums in America actually has it, and apparently it's actually haunted. Did you know that?
Yes, and
Okay, cool.
having spent most of my life in Chicago, I can actually confirm that. Yeah, it's considered a haunted and historical site.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, there was one survivor to that massacre.
Yeah, actually, I remember seeing that.
It was a
This
dog.
was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, that's what you
there
call a
was.
massacre.
Oh yeah, no,
We killed
I'm actually
everything.
I am dead serious here,
Oh
pun
god.
intended.
Yeah.
But there was one individual present who survived the massacre, and that
Mm-hmm.
was the dog.
Makes you
And
wonder what it saw.
I know I felt so bad for the poor doggy, the poor
Mm-hmm.
poor puppers. F in the chat for the woofer.
Oh yeah.
But it does show that the mobsters did have a moral compass.
Yeah.
They spared the dog.
Yeah.
They didn't spare anyone else, but they spared the dog. And that's what's important.
Fair. From what I've
That the
heard,
woofer lives.
if you actually at the right time and on the right day, etc., if you actually listen, you can actually hear the shadowed sounds of gunfire. Okay, granted that theoretically it's in Chicago, so hearing gunfire is a common event. No.
I was
Yes,
actually
I
about
said
to say, I'm like, this is Chicago. You can hear echoes of gunfire pretty much anywhere
Oh,
at the
actually,
right time.
talking about that, and I know this isn't necessarily. Well, actually, it's true crime, so what the heck? Apparently, you lot are actually lower on the chart than Memphis, Tennessee.
Yep.
Come on. What is going on,
No,
man?
I'm actually dead serious. Everyone thinks that Chicago is the murder capital of the world. It's not. That's
No,
your fucking city, Jensen.
actually, I done checking on that yesterday. Apparently, it's somewhere in Honduras. Even London isn't as bad anymore.
Honduras,
Don't.
where is that?
That's over on your side. It's one of the little ass countries just past Mexico,
Mm.
I think, or one of the islands. It's over there. That's all I know.
Yeah, no,
But
I knew it was over that way, but I couldn't think of
yeah,
what country.
yeah. So yeah,
Um,
we're innocent. Okay, granted, apparently we're worse than New York, but that isn't saying much since we
yeah,
had
but you
a
also
whole
have a
collection
higher
of stabbings.
population.
We have a higher population than everything that doesn't head towards India and China.
Yeah.
Okay. No
But
offense, America, but you guys like to say, LA's this and New York's that. Yeah, we have more than 16 million people coming in and out of our city every single day. You lot barely have 16 million people in your city.
no, I agree with this fully.
Hmm.
Sorry if you hear crunching. I've got chips,
Hey, no worries. You do you.
or as you would call them, crisps.
Yes. I know. I'm going to try and do it the Americanized way. There's two of you, so technically, I get
You're
outvoted here.
outnumbered.
Yes.
You're outnumbered.
normally I'm the one that ends up being outnumbered.
Hmm. Oh yeah, we do have one or two Brits come on, don't we?
Well, you kind of are outnumbered.
Mm. Well, I mean, you say that again. I point back to the fact that we have more people in our capital city than you have in, well, actually two of your major cities. So I believe
yeah.
Nina is an accurate statement.
Well, no, actually, I was talking to Doku about being outnumbered.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Us two morbid motherfuckers.
I'm not morbid. I'm happy and cheerful. Me good zom. Anyway.
Bullshit.
I
will never let you get away with that.
I know.
Never.
As you can tell, my connection with true crime is more of the ghost side, so
Which
unfortunately, this is your
is
speciality.
Fine.
Okay.
But interestingly enough, I believe last time I checked, Chicago was actually 159th or lower when it comes to the murder rate in the U.S. We're not even in the top 100. We're not even in the top 150.
Well, thing I saw.
Fuck y'all.
Put you, I think it was 32nd on the list, which made me laugh my ass off. And apparently, St. Louis has actually got the most.
St. Louis?
Yeah, whatever. Bloody Americans. Yes. Place with a bent lump of metal.
Yeah.
It's got the most. So you'd never think of that
actually,
place.
No. Oh, no, St. Louis? Oh, yeah, absolutely. No. Wow. No, St. Louis, I believe that completely.
Oh, I'm not joking. Over here, we would never believe that.
St. Louis is pretty bad, actually.
Well, it's worse than Baltimore, which is number 2, and that kind of says a lot.
Oh, Baltimore is pretty bad. Honestly, I'd have to say I would think. Well, Detroit's probably up there too. Memphis as well.
Yeah, I think that was people, 4 or 5.
Yeah. Gary, Indiana, I know at one point was the murder capital of the United States. That's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's I think a lot of them are actually southern states too.
That wouldn't shock me. In all fairness, I mean, the South does have a collection of nut jobs. Let's be fair.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The ones that have the cities that actually have the most gun violence actually have the strictest gun laws.
Yeah, I'm actually willing to accept that. There are rumors that Detroit has like one of the toughest gun laws going, and
they're right up there with Chicago. Chicago has some seriously strict gun laws. like to the point where it's like, okay, I don't even understand why that's a law, but okay.
It just tickles me, the fact that you've got all these gun laws and yet it's one of the worst places for murders. And it's not like London, okay, London's bad. I admit this, okay? We got rid of guns, and so our criminals went sod it and went knives and guns. So the only real difference is we're using 2 weapons instead of 1.
Yeah, which I would just like to point out, any lawmakers that are listening, criminals don't follow the law. That's why they're criminals.
I'm shocked.
Shock and horror.
Yeah.
Actually, funny enough, I believe it's in either New York or New Jersey. I want to say New Jersey. It is actually illegal to wear a bulletproof vest if you intend on committing a crime such as robbery or murder. Yeah, that's actually a law. That is legitimately a law there. I heard that and read that. I laughed my ass off.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, if you're already committed to murder or burglary or something of that nature,
Yeah.
I don't think wearing a bulletproof vest is gonna stop you.
No, I don't actually know what to say to that. I mean, of course you're wearing bloody body armor. It makes perfect sense to wear body armor.
I'm sitting there going, really? Okay, first of all, both a bank robbery and murder are both felonies.
Yes.
The wearing a bulletproof vest is, I want to say it's like it's not a misdemeanor. It's a little higher than a misdemeanor. I forget what the term is. But yeah, it's like they're already committing a felony. Do you really think that one thing is going to stop them? No, it's not. I guarantee you it won't.
I do have one
you
question.
listen here now. Don't you dare wear a bulletproof vest if you plan on murdering somebody.
You're saying about the misdemeanor. And by the way, I know I'm going to get a dirty look from my next statement. Does that mean that when women do it, it's a misdemeanor? Hey, Joshua.
I'm going to smack you, Jensen. I am legitimate. I am giving your icon the dirtiest look.
I know, I can feel it.
Good. Feel the scorn.
But you notice she doesn't say no. Just pointing this out, people.
It is a no. You're just being stupid. Fucking Brit.
But yeah,
no,
I'm not even
no,
gonna,
you're
I'm
not.
not gonna.
No, you're not. You're a cunt.
Okay. I'm good at it though. Go admit that.
I will neither confirm nor deny this.
That's yes, by the way.
I plead the fifth. Yeah.
Glad you're here, Joshua. It's good to see you again, man.
But there is one myth that it both makes me laugh and drives me up a wall at the same time.
If it's the one we were talking about, that's actually
it is.
Quite funny a statement.
It does. I laugh about it at times, but it's as you would put it, Jensen, it gets on my tits.
Yes.
Like, it absolutely drives me batshit crazy. Mm-hmm. And that is this statement, and I hear it so fucking much, it's not even funny anymore. well, if so-and-so pleads insanity, then they're not guilty, and then they get away with the crime. Most likely it's murder. Okay, first of all, do you know how often the insanity plea, just in general, whether it's not guilty due to reason of insanity or guilty but you were insane during, and there's two different ones, but both of them are pretty much quite similar. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many criminal cases actually use it?
No, I don't actually.
0.05%.
Oh.
Of all criminal cases in the United States. Less half of 1%.
I'm going to ask why, so you can, you could just tell me.
Oh, because it's a shit defense. Because it is so absolutely insanely difficult to prove. Like, it is, put it to you this way. If a lawyer can successfully get you completely acquitted of all charges due to reasons of insanity, and you go right back out into the general population, number one, you owe that lawyer your soul because you are never going to stop paying that motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Two, that motherfucker is going to retire and will probably be one of the greatest lawyers of all time. That, or you made a deal with Lucifer. You did something, motherfucker. There is something supernatural on there.
Do
you want to know why?
Go on.
And here's the biggest kicker. Number one, the insanity plea is an affirmative plea, meaning it's saying you're guilty.
Yes.
And that's where my brain breaks for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, but Right. Okay. I can argue that. Well, I say argue. I can agree with it, but the point being is, yes, I did commit murder, but I did it by reason of insanity. I was not control of in and of my actions while committing said crime. How can you arrest somebody who is not in control of their own actions? That is the argument. But over here,
The argument I could also counter that with, okay, so someone who is heavily intoxicated, you can argue, is not in their right state of mind. If
hey,
they
Batman.
if they go into a car, get behind the wheel, and kill somebody, have they not committed murder?
They have. This is
Okay,
a fair
period.
statement. Just
But they
letting you
made the
know,
conscious
Batman will be
decision to
joining us.
drink. Okay. They have made the conscious decision to drink. And they made the conscious decision to get into a car.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. The link is in Discord, Batman.
What?
I was to say, over here, we actually... here we go. Right, over here, we actually have diminished responsibility, which means...
So do we.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's in with the insanity plea.
If you get busted, go with the insanity plea. What will happen is, congratulations, you won't go to prison. Instead, you'll go to a mental asylum. You're not actually going
literally,
anywhere.
Yeah, that's legitimately what it is.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
that's another myth about it. It's, oh, well, they won't go to prison. They'll get off scot-free. No, actually, they won't.
No.
Because, first of all, being considered legally insane has absolutely no psychological, definition. At least it's not in the DSM. Insanity isn't a psychological term. It's a legal term.
There's another thing about it as well, Ms.Murder. You get declared legally insane because, say, the car thing, right? You're legally insane, right? Put away in a mental institution. You're going to be in there even if you're cured. You're going to be there for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Actually, no.
A lot of times you will be, apparently, especially in the States, because...
no, that's actually false.
Doctors like their psychiatrists.
That part is true. Oh, come on.
That part is actually... That is actually false. You will... Only in New Jersey does that actually happen. Just New Jersey. It is the only state where that actually can happen. However... If you do plead insanity and it is successful, which, by the way, out of the 0.5% of criminal cases that actually gets used for, less than 24% of the time is it quote unquote successful.
Yeah, there was
less than 1/4 of that 0.5% does it happen.
There was one guy, I forget where it was. It was in America, but he put in a plea of temporary diminished responsibility. He was one of these guys he's employed to spray people's lawns with, this fungicide. And apparently, according to witnesses, the woman whose lawn he was spraying came out to complain about something. She wasn't overtly annoying with him, but he lost it. And basically hacked it to pieces with a gardening tool.
I have not heard of this one. I need to... Jensen, why was I not told about this?
He had no previous history of any behaviour like this. I think this was in the 80s. They weren't required to wear any kind of protective gear. So obviously he'd been breathing in the fumes over a protracted length of time.
That would do it.
System. At first, his plea...
Considering what they use for pesticides, that might do it.
At first, his plea got knocked back. But, they had experts coming up, and his plea got upheld, and I think some kind of biochemist, actually proved the case. While he was under the influences of the chemicals, it radically altered his... the workings of his brain chemistry.
Yeah.
But only while the chemicals were in his system.
that would literally be that less than 1/4
Yeah.
of that half of 1%.
Mhm.
You have a better chance, literally, of winning the lottery, being attacked by a bear, and then being attacked by a polar bear in the same day, getting struck by lightning, and then winning the lottery again,
And
than you
getting
are
mugged by a
for
knight
that.
then getting mugged by a knight in shining armor on horseback.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that statement.
He's got, you
literally.
see, Jensen's got some shining armor
That's not.
and access to a horse.
Leave B out of this. Just
I was
I
about
was
to
about
say,
to
by the way,
say,
how is
you
B?
leave B out of this. I was actually about to say the same thing.
How cruel are we? We all went to the same place in our minds as soon as I said he has access to a horse.
Yeah, the thing is, you keep putting an S into it. I'm just sticking with whore and saving time.
Well, I was putting the message in because I didn't want your channel struck down.
Oh, I don't
You know
care.
what, Jensen? If anyone in your family is a whore, we know it's you.
No.
I'm innocent. I don't get paid.
No,
Actually, nor does B.
Ms.Murder, you're wrong there. Jensen is not a whore. He's a cannibal. Get it right.
You
This
can
is
be
fair.
both.
This is also fair.
Yeah, but a whore takes money for sex. A whore doesn't eat their partner after sex. Jensen, you're a
You wanna
female
bet?
spider.
Mm-hmm. Technically,
Black Widow.
I am a Black Widow. See, I told you I was black. Nobody believes me.
No, sorry,
And
Jensen.
a woman.
Jensen, I'm sorry. I was wrong. You're a widow of colour.
Thank you. Which technically makes me a progressive, because if I am a person of colour and a spider,
But
my
you're not a
God,
person.
And female.
how can you say I'm not a person?
You're a zom-zom.
Oh, that's all right then.
No, he's a nom-zom.
Really? You've yelled at me for the same thing, and this is what you... Okay.
So is
I see how it is.
I have a question upon which may hang the fate of civilization itself.
18 inches.
Well, I wasn't on about your height.
Oh, okay.
Is Doku actually here?
Yeah, he's just probably giggling his ass off or trying to corral his cat.
Falling asleep. Trying to what is cat?
Corral.
Oh, so that's what you crazy kids call it these days. We used to call it bestiality back when I was a kid.
I make no statement reminding you that technically both cats are male. So,
Okay.
oh right, yeah, Doku. Good point.
Homo bestiality then.
Do you know,
Okay,
actually-
moving on.
Yeah, no, moving on. Here's a concept for you. Try and prove you're sane.
Easy.
Want to bet?
That's actually a lot easier to prove that you're insane.
No,
you
I
wanna
would
know
actually
why?
argue the opposite way, but go on.
Jensen, you are insane though.
Yeah, no, seriously. If you take your average person, literally any Muppet off the street, and get them to try and prove they're sane, it's actually probably one of the hardest things you'll do.
It's actually quite easy to prove that I am not insane.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do basic reason,
I take everything you say with a cargo contain a load of salt.
Which means you've got a stupidly high blood pressure, which means you're losing control of your
No, I don't actually
bodily
take
function,
the
so you're
salt
insane.
into my body. But I take everything you say with a cargo contain a load of salt.
So you're a thief. Good to know.
No, I actually buy the salt.
all right, motherfuckers.
But
But no, it actually.
another way I can prove
actually-
I'm insane. I would never be in the same room with Ms.Murder and a knife.
That's a fair statement.
Why you gotta call me out on my kinks there, Batman? I thought we were cool. What the
We
fuck?
are, as long as you don't have a knife in your hand.
I promise nothing.
That's fair. Anyway, you starting to say something, Ms.Murder.
The thing is, Jensen, is what people need to know about the definition of insanity. Number one, that it's a legal term, not a psychological one. Number two is that it's actually a really nebulous concept because there's no set description in the law in the United States as to what makes someone legally insane. It actually varies by jurisdiction. That means state, county, city, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Hell, sometimes it's even by judges as to what qualifies as legally sane or legally insane.
I'm okay with that.
In California, the only requirement to prove that you are legally sane is when you're walking, you actually turn before you hit the wall.
I thought it was a simple which direction you're walking. If it's away from California, you're sane. If it's towards it, you are definitely insane. I'm not.
I
don't think
I
Jensen
can't.
was on about proving you're sane in the legal terms, but more in the common usage term.
True.
The common usage, yeah. Well, the common usage is normally not used. Well, is never used by psychologists or psychiatrists.
He wasn't on about psychologists, psychiatrists, or lawyers, is what I'm saying.
Technically, all three of them could be classed as insane.
Well, actually, actually about 10% of the world's CEOs are actually diagnosably sociopaths.
I'm shocked.
Sociopath is not actually...
no, it's not insane.
It's
Do you know what actually would kind of sort of qualify as being quote-unquote insane?
Go for it.
Mental delusions.
Yeah, like paranoid schizophrenia, stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm talking severe mental delusions. Like severe.
Yeah, like full-blown auditory, tactile, and olfactory illusions. Visuals.
Yep.
I would point out you have considered me insane for calling myself a zomzom.
No, I just think you're.
I mean, there have actually been cases of people with that who, were hallucinating. They're being attacked by people who were punching them and displayed bruises caused by psychosomatic effect.
No.
That is
Bill Gates is not a psychopath.
No, Bill Gates is just a greedy little bastard.
I'm okay with that statement.
Joshua, it's easy to change your mind. You just have to wait until you're not watching Unscrew Your Top of Your Head and put a new, fresh one in.
This is a fair statement.
Don't you wish it was that easy?
It was in The Man with Two Brains.
In all fairness, it may well be a game with the sort of technology we're doing with the brain. I mean, let's be completely honest. It will not be that long before people are able to cough, alter what is acceptable to the human brain and to humanity as a whole by rewriting the brain itself.
Will we really be human?
I don't think that'll be in our lifetime, though.
Yeah. What makes me laugh is these people going about, yes, we can become immortal by uploading our consciousness to the computers. Do
we really want to live in the internet for the rest of eternity? Come on now.
Everything. Uploading your consciousness onto a computer. First of all, if we had computer technology that could take a human mind and everything that's in it and accurately duplicate it in a computer, that's not you. That's a copy of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're still going to grow old and die.
Yeah.
So you're not immortal.
No, but here's the thing. Given what the internet is, who in the flying fuck would want to live there?
Yeah, but...
I can answer that. I can actually answer that. He's actually with us. Doku. He would be happy living in the internet. Can you imagine the amount of porn sites he'd go to? Sorry about that.
Yeah, you will be. You have to assume that said mind would be placed in a virtual environment of their choice.
Mm-hmm.
With
Yeah, if the
Jensen,
government's in charge of it, I call bullshit.
with Jensen, it would be one with where all every other human being came in their own boil in the bag.
Come
Actually,
on, it would be easier, wouldn't it?
Jensen, I actually have a very interesting factoid for you
Oh, go
when
on.
it comes to true crime and legality.
Okay.
Did you know that cannibalism
Is
is
legal in
not
America?
illegal? No, it is not illegal in the UK
True.
or in the United States, save for 2 states.
Weirdly, yes, I did.
I think it's dependent as well. I mean,
They
you
actually get charged on other things, such
you
as
can't just walk into a funeral home and nab somebody's body.
no, that
no,
would
'cause
actually you'd
that's
get
theft.
charged with grave. That's
Yeah.
theft,
And grave
or
robbing.
you would be charged with grave robbing, improper disposal of a corpse.
Mhm.
Lewd behaviour.
No, wouldn't be loot, and not unless you
Depends what
fuck
you're
it
doing with
first.
What if it was Goku?
Doku is indecent exposure on his own.
I would just be charged. I would just be charged for the crime of existence.
They may well be putting that through. So
I think the officer of the law.
Well, then we're all fucked.
Goku, I think what the officer of the law would say to you is the crime is life, the punishment is death.
I'm okay with that statement.
And then you feel
That sounds more like a reward.
You'd feel this horrible crushing pain in your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I won't have to worry about people like Amazing Lucas, Coach Red Pill, or Dark Ninja anymore. So it actually does sound like a reward.
I actually hate to tell you this, but there is such a place as hell, so yes, you would.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Hell
the
exists,
downside.
but would Doku really be allowed in there? Come on now.
I sexually identify as the Amazing Atheist.
Yeah, but put it this way: even hell needs people to sweep up.
Yeah,
That's
except
where
Jensen
Dodge
could never
went.
go.
Sorry.
Well,
go.
hey, we can all agree that Jensen would never be allowed in hell because he would take over.
No, he'd be allowed in hell, but he'd
True.
be kicked out when he would refuse to stop flying down the corridors on his fucking computer chair
This is also true.
whilst
deny that.
shouting "we" at the top of his voice.
This is also a statement of fact. He's not lying at any
Are you
point.
kidding me? We'd all be right there behind him. We'd all get kicked out.
Yes.
No, because I'd be chasing him, trying to stop him on my pogo stick.
Why would you be trying to stop him?
Because
Why
it
would
would be fun.
Yeah, this is actually a fair statement, but just think about this, okay? He's chasing me on a pogo stick. Not at any point did he make any claim about being clothed while chasing me on this pogo stick.
Well, he will at least be wearing a cape and cowl.
It's
That
hell.
is a
It'll be
bonus.
hot.
True. True.
And also, hell is just more territory to take over.
Yeah.
If that's the way you think, then no, hell would be a very small room.
And size regardless, it's still more territory to take over.
Actually, no, it wouldn't be, because it would be a very small room ruled by somebody much more powerful than you.
You, in other words, pretty much the normal
I.e.
world.
Jensen. I.e. Jensen.
No, I was actually thinking about you, Ms.Murder.
Oh God, that's
Oh,
hell.
gods, don't put me in charge. Jeez, that's terrifying even to me.
With your own personal selection of whips, axes, swords, and other bladed weapons.
I'll
That's
just buy
if,
the building.
if Doku went to hell.
That's not hell, Batman. That's not hell.
No, that's
Saturday.
Doku's hell. Not
for
yours,
yourself.
Doku's.
No, it wouldn't be. He's too much of a
It-
masochist.
No, it would be, because you refuse to use them on him.
Oh, that's fun.
Fair
Anyway.
statement. 1 second.
Okay. So yeah,
You realize to sorry, an absolute masochist,
Mhm.
hell would be getting sent to heaven.
Yes, it would. I mean, seriously, the whole thing with masochists is all well and good, but only one word ruins their day. No,
Yeah, I know.
that's it.
Whip
It's
me,
brilliant.
beat me, hurt me, abuse me, pleaded the masochist.
Mhm.
No, said the sadist.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, I have. It's really quite funny because you see this expression on their face of, he said no. Hold it. He said no. It's wonderful because you just get this rush of the person, and then
I think
oh, crap.
the better one is, yeah, hold on there a minute, and then you go out the back way and fucking just leave.
Yeah. That's always good for a chuckle. I agree. Anyway,
Anyway,
true crime. Let's see. What do I mean, unfortunately, I know bugger all about true crime. I will be completely honest with you. Or at least, I know bugger all about true crime, but there is a good chance I've probably killed more people than all of the people in this chat. No, Batman.
No, I had a really nasty fucking curry one night, and the following day when I farted.
Okay, fair statement. All right. Second most murderous person in this thing would be me.
Actually, and I think Ms.Murder killed more people than you. It says it in the name.
No, technically, she could have only killed one to gain that name. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not Miss Mass. No. I'm going to argue this. It doesn't say Miss Mass Murder.
It
just says Miss Murder.
I mean, you just kill one person. They're not going to give you a name like Ms. Murder. They're just going to, that fucking psycho bitch or something. Oh, look, it's her that knifed that guy. If she's constantly killing people, then it
No,
should be Ms. Murder.
if anything, I am a serial killer. Let's be fair.
Okay,
I know too much about them.
You get out my head, Jensen.
But no, I'm back at my work computer, so I'm actually able to get up the things that I wanted to discuss now. Luckily,
cool.
So Jensen,
right?
You're not even the second most person who's killed people in
No.
this.
No, no. Who the hell do you think helps me hide the bodies?
Doku.
No.
I eat the bodies. It's similar.
Yeah, Doku helps hide them. You eat them.
Technically, he could be there for the bones.
I don't know why you guys are all hung up on murder. It's just assisted different state of existence.
Yeah. And
that was my defense. That was literally my defense.
It's assisted end of existence.
A different state of existence.
Suicide.
No,
assisted suicide.
No, a different state of existence implies that there is more existence to come.
Yeah, of course there is.
As far as we know, there isn't.
And you're overthinking it. State of existence. Are you alive or are you dead?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but if you're dead and there's no existence, there's no state of existence to be different.
It's assisted. It's assisted.
And now the British are more people than the Americans.
Talking about a different state of existence. Hello, Yorkie.
Hello.
Hello.
You're not wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But
go on, hon.
I do have some of the myths up right now. Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's because you're Ms.Murder.
Really?
Really?
And the crowd goes mild.
Yeah.
Every single person is staring at your icon, Batman, with a look of disgust and disdain.
I bathe in their disgust and disdain.
Of course you do.
It warms my twisted, black, cracked heart.
I also thought you were about to say ass.
Well, that's because you've got arse on the brain.
He doesn't deny this. Has anyone noticed? He's not saying no.
Well, plenty of people have called me shit for brains.
Well, I was nice. I said you were thinking about your boss.
Mm-hmm.
No, that arse.
Anyway, Miss Murder, you have information for us. We await your wisdom.
I apologize for any noise in the background. I have no control over that. I am at work.
Them.
I wish. Anyway.
It is Chicago. You could possibly get away with it, but carry on.
No, I'm at a school, so no, I can't. Damn it.
Shoot them and claim it was some 11-year-old kid who was getting bullied.
Yeah, I'm not at that kind of school. Can't. So, first myth that I've actually come across is that serial killers are rampant.
Or what?
Let's see, serial killers are rampant, i.e., they are in a great abundance.
No, they're very rare.
Yeah.
No. That is actually very much false, as serial killers are, as you said, very rare. In fact, 0.01% of murders are classified as serial incidences. In fact, in 2013, there was a study done by the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime that lists North American homicide rates as 3.9 per 100,000 in the population. So,
lucky numbers.
I believe that there have been a number of murderers who've killed other victims that fit the profile of the original murder just to enable
copycat killers.
Insanity plea.
Copycat killers, but these are classified as serial murders.
You mean insanity pleas?
Yeah, they did it deliberately to get insanity.
No.
I said some, not a lot.
No,
I think she's saying this to Yorkie, mate.
No, I'm saying no to both of you.
Oh, fair enough.
Literally. These are just serial incidents. This is not classifying it into copycat murders. This is not classifying it into mass murder. No, this is legitimately 0.01% of all murders encapsulated are classified as a serial incident, i.e., are the result of a serial killer.
If I may,
would
you mind defining what a serial killer actually is? Because rumor has it you only need to kill 3 people.
No, actually it's 2. Okay. And there are other qualifications for it. There needs to be a cooling off time. It has to have a specific MO. I had it all written down at some point.
Like short, dumpy blondes, for example.
I get if you want to go with that, yeah.
It's just for example. Yeah.
However, some serial killers actually don't have a consistent type. Samuel Little, who actually recently died, just at the end of last year, he actually did not have a specific type. He had probably one of the widest ranges of, well, number one, he beat out Ted Bundy when it came to the range of his killing area. Number one, he destroyed the American, most notorious serial killer record, which stood for almost 30 years. He shattered it. I believe he confessed to like 94, and it's still climbing.
Okay.
Does anybody find it kind of disturbing that she makes it sound like the American version of the Eurovision Song Contest?
I actually say it like that because it's the only way that people seem to understand it. Oh, and by the way, and this, I've gotten into trouble over Twitter on this too. Samuel Little is a man of color.
Oh.
Yeah.
You mean black? Let's be real.
I'm at work, so I have to say it that way.
Is it true that serial killers are predominantly male as well?
They are predominantly male. However, there's about 10% of them that are actually female.
Lizzie Borden is one, I believe.
Lizzie Borden was never actually confirmed as a serial killer, though it is believed she is. Though during that time period, it was actually very rare for a woman to be convicted of any crime.
And
that's actually, no. And actually, that was your guys' fault on it because you guys actually set that precedent.
I honestly thought you were.
You had the War of Independence, so therefore you voted in your own presidents.
It's true. And go on, Yorkie, you were saying something.
I said precedent,
I know
not
what
president.
Yorkie?
Oh no, it don't matter. I was just going to say that I thought she was blaming the British for it.
She was.
I was, because we did. A lot of our laws are very similar, and it was a predominantly British and then later American. During those times, it was pretty common for the belief that women couldn't do yada yada yada, even though there was fucking substantial evidence to say otherwise.
Yeah.
I refer to Elizabeth Bathory.
What Yorkie American law is heavily based on English common law.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I thought she was trying. Yes, I thought she
not
meant
the modern British. I was blaming British law and the common law.
I thought you were blaming men.
No.
No, she's not a feminist.
No, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do actually do that, which is
wrong.
Infuriating beyond belief, because guess what? Serial killers tend to hunt solo.
Yes.
Yep, which is why he shot first.
Minor question, if may. You'll find I'm going to be asking a lot of these. Apart from MO, and it may well just be MO, I accept this statement, but what is the difference between a serial killer and a mass murderer?
A mass murderer will kill a number of people in one place over a certain span of time. This may be over a few minutes or over a few days.
Yeah, the
point is that there's no cooling off period between the murders. Mass murder is kill this many people and continue until, whenever they stop. A serial killer will kill one person, stop, have the cool down period, and then do it again. Usually it's roughly about 30 days at the high end of it.
Yeah, and usually with serial killers, there's some form of psychosis behind it, I believe.
No. Actually, no.
That's surprising.
It is actually very rare for a serial killer to have a quote-unquote psychosis.
Yeah, I also believe it is a myth that serial killers all start out as men who've been downtrodden by society and
no, that's while every criminal has a sob story, okay? Every single one.
They've been turned into a crimson-eyed little wimp by society until it eventually snapped. A lot of times that's not.
That's actually that's a lot of the argument that is done with women, which again, very infuriating.
Yep.
Here, let me just look up something really quick.
Yep, go ahead.
Like you said, Countess bathroom skills.
There are 4 types of serial killers. 4.
Okay.
There are the hedonistic, which are the ones that are, the ones that basically they're the ones that Hollywood exploits on.
Yes.
Like Hannibal Lecter.
No, actually, he would not be the hedonistic. No, he would actually not be hedonistic. He would actually be another type.
Hold on, is there hedonistic?
Can I finish, please?
Sorry.
First type, and some of the most common, would be the visionary type. Now, the visionary basically is the type that would be a Hannibal Lecter type, actually. Visionary has a certain idea in their head that they, more or less, that a certain type of people needs to be eliminated from this and whatever. Another good one would actually be the Son of Sam or David Berkowitz. They kill because they are directed by hallucinations.
Yeah, God told me to do it.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. Isn't there a type that it might start off, it was an accidental, the murder, the first one is accidental and they get a taste for it?
No. No, that's a completely different type.
In that case, please define that one.
That one's actually a complete Hollywood myth.
Good.
There's no, oh, I got a taste for it now. No, that is not how the human
Right.
psyche works.
So you have confirmed I actually am a fucking work of fiction.
Yeah, you are a work of fiction. But the next type is the mission-orientated. Now, the mission-orientated is the killer that feels that they are improving the world by getting rid of undesirable people, such as prostitutes or
I've got
this
an
type of
example
person.
here.
That Green River Killer, Gary Ridgway would actually be an example of that
I
one.
was going to say Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper.
Weirdly, I was actually going to suggest, would that be classed as Jack the Ripper? Would he count as?
No.
Oh, what would he
But
be?
I believe
He would
Peter-
actually be the least common type, which would be the hedonistic, or he could also be the power control orientated type.
Because Peter
Okay.
Sutcliffe was going on killing prostitutes, thinking he was improving the country, basically.
Then yes, he would be the mission oriented. Now, the power orientated, which is actually the most common type,
Yeah.
is basically they enjoy having that power. Kind of like, and people always say, oh, rape is about sex. No, it's about power.
Yep.
Yes.
It is legitimately about power. So there is a serial killer where it is about power. Examples of this would be Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or BTK. John Wayne Gacy would be another one. Like I said, most common. Who is making all that noise?
Yorkie.
Yorkie.
Maybe
Stop
me.
Wait,
I'm
me?
literally doing nothing.
Yeah, you're like, I keep hearing like a bunch of breathing and scraping.
Kind of sounded like you were dry humping.
Yeah. All I did was just wipe a bit of the ash off my cigarette.
Oh, that's disgusting. How dare you?
Did he
sir.
just
How
say
dare
he
you.
just wiped a bit of the arse off his cigarette?
Ash.
Ash? And if you were going to do that, Batman, you could have said, and I'm quoting here, he was wiping the ass of his fag. But you didn't say that, did
Yeah,
you? You
then
missed
again,
the opportunity.
If he was wiping a bit of the arse off his cigarette, we would have heard screaming.
Possibly.
I mean, I'm a
Not
glutton
from
for
Yorkie.
punishment.
What?
Mhm.
Oh, not for me. Yeah, that makes sense. I am a bit of a glutton for punishment.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Sam. This is what happens on my streams. It is what it is.
Okay, where would Gary Gilmore fit then?
I'm actually not familiar with him.
Nor do I.
Because I'm sure he was a serial killer.
Can't say I heard the name. First, I thought you were going to say Gary Glitter. That's a completely different case.
That's a totally different case.
Let's not worry about that one.
But like I was saying, the most rare type and the most like how people see serial killers as
sorry.
just these horrible, monstrous humanoid entities that stalk the night and rip people to shreds. Those would be the hedonistic serial killers, which are the rarest type. The hedonistic are also sometimes called thrill killers.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are, they do it because they like to do it.
Yeah.
There's actually another type of serial killer that more often goes for motive, and they're actually more often female than anything else. And those are basically they have the motive of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Don't know.
Comfort gain killers. That's what I was looking for. Those are actually more often the female serial killers. They're most often the comfort gain killers, which is actually the oldest and simplest type of serial killer, because they're literally killing to gain money or gain something that makes their lives easier.
So to clarify, that would be sort of classed as your Black Widow type. That would be a...
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
Just
it's
checking.
a tiny bit more complicated than that, but yes.
Well, let's face it, Hollywood either gets things so oversimplified or totally and utterly wrong.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Well, there's one kind of, I don't know if you class it as a serial killer, but definitely, a murderous psychological disorder. I don't know if it's real or not. Called as a chameleon. They actually obsess over
no,
somebody.
that's not a type of serial killer. That's actually a trait of serial killers, the social chameleon.
Yeah,
actually
what I'm on about, Sam, is they will fixate on somebody, right?
Mhm.
Then they will start to exhibit their traits of this person. Then they'll start to dress like this person. Then they'll just totally act and talk.
That is not a serial killer. That is something.
I think you're talking about a copycat.
Yeah,
more or less. But
Doppelganger.
those aren't.
Might be an apt statement there, really. Based on the way Batman described it, I would say
But-
doppelganger applies.
Yeah, they usually end up trying to kill the person who they copy,
Yeah, replacing them
or trying to.
Yeah,
in their mind. Yes.
Yeah.
that would actually be more. That would actually be closer to a mission-orientated serial killer, actually. But that is an entire different category. I don't think is fully recognized just yet. I mean, not only are serial killers rare, but that type is even more rare.
Yeah. Well, let's face it, if serial killers weren't rare, there'd be very few people left alive, wouldn't there?
Fair statement.
More or less, but anyway. Basically, going back to what I was saying, for the absolute, just going off of let's say the population of about 464 million worldwide-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you're going to be the victim of a serial killer, you have a 0.00039% chance of being a serial killer's victim. Not even joking. That's worldwide.
And I'm going to have to disappear at roughly 10 to 10.
Okay.
Okay.
No worries, mate.
But
15
you want to know what's actually more likely to happen to you?
Go on.
Hit by a bus.
You're about 8 times more likely to be murdered by your spouse. There's 8 times as many murders that are committed by spouses.
Yeah.
Not to mention,
Sorry, go ahead.
that being an adult and being a murder victim is also pretty slim. It's about 5.54 fatalities per 100,000 people.
I was going to say you're probably more likely to get hit by a New York City bus while crossing the Gobi Desert.
Yeah, literally. You are more likely to win the lottery 3 times in a row. You know what time of your life you're actually the most likely to be a murder victim?
Early 30s?
Nope.
When you're a baby?
Yep. 0 to 7 years old.
And usually by your mother.
Mother, stepmother. Actually, you're correct on that too, Batman. From 0 to 7 years old, you're more likely to be killed via infanticide by your mother. After the age of 7, you're actually more likely to be killed by your father or stepfather or another fathering male.
In that instance, it's more likely to happen if you're male because at a certain point, your father or male caregiver starts to view you as a rival subconsciously. It's an instinctive thing.
Not really. It's a bit more complicated than that, but
that's the basis.
I'm not gonna go into that because I don't have enough information offhand to properly explain it.
In your case, he just wouldn't get out of his dad's chair when World of Sport was on.
Why did he have to give me flashbacks like that?
So, quite literally, you are more likely, if you are killed, if you're a part of that, tiny ass percentage, you're more likely to be killed by your own spouse in a domestic dispute or as an infant at the hands of one of your parents than you are to be the victim of the next Ted Bundy.
I've actually heard somebody once say on a documentary about it, you're more likely to be killed you've got more chance of being killed by somebody accidentally patting you on the shoulder and accidentally triggering a critical nerve cluster.
True.
Which is amazing how often that actually happens.
Yeah. You are actually more likely to kill yourself by, cracking your neck and releasing a freaking blood clot and causing an issue that way than you are. And this isn't just in the U.S. This is in most first world countries.
Yep.
And I'm saying first world countries because in the other two options, they're not exactly forthcoming with their murder shit.
They try to, but the serial killers get to them first.
No, actually, China actually lies about their homicide rate massively.
China lies about everything.
In fact, actually, funny enough, Russia has twice as high of a murder rate as the United States does.
When it comes to China lying about things, I don't think they're really called China. No, actually, I think civilian-owned light aircraft are the worst.
Actually, you make that joke, but theoretically, a car will actually kill far more people than a plane, not including the fact that the plane doing something stupid like 9/11.
Do you know what I find really interesting? Say you're in the States, you're driving down the freeway, right?
Yeah.
You pick up a hitchhiker. Hitchhiker then pulls a gun on you and tries to take control of the car whilst you're driving.
Yes.
This man is an idiot because you're driving the car. You have total control. You're also wearing a seatbelt. If it was me, I would speed up so that he starts screaming and then ram the brakes on.
Actually, what you're supposed to do in that situation?
What?
You're supposed to crash your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to suggest pulling on the fucking handbrake.
No, you're supposed to crash your car because you have a better chance of surviving, especially if they're in the back seat and they're reaching forward to do that.
Oh, I read a short story. It's a good one, actually. A guy driving down, picks up this hitchhiker, who pulls a gun on him. So the guy driving, what are you going to do with that? He goes, you're going to take me where I want to go. No, I'm not. He's driving along. He says, comes the cigarette lighter. And when it pops out, he takes it out and shoves it on this guy's nose. And I go, what the hell are you doing? I've got a gun. He goes, I've got a car.
Yeah.
That's actually, do you know what the odds of that actually is, too? With hitchhikers?
Very low.
Lower than that of a serial killer.
Yep.
Literally. In fact, I can only think of one off the top of my head of a serial killer who actually that was their MO.
I was about to ask, do you know
Eileen
of
Wuornos.
any serial killers that do that?
Eileen Wuornos, one of the most infamous female serial killers in the United States, and interestingly enough, was also LGBT.
Oh, okay.
I constantly get this all over Twitter of people going, well, there's no LGBT serial killers. John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Eileen Wuornos, Albert Fish. Do I need to go on? And then there's no of color or minority serial killers. Hang on, let me get the scroll.
Literally just go to Africa and try to claim that. See how far you fucking get.
This is actually a fair statement. I mean, let's be completely honest.
I've legitimately had people tell me this. I actually did an entire video where I listed about 6 of them, and I'm like, you want to know what else? The most notorious serial killer in the United States as of October of 2020 or even 2019 was a man of African descent, Samuel Little.
Yeah, you already said.
Yeah. No, I literally got into a Twitter argument. I almost got suspended for that one.
So not Hillary Clinton then.
No,
No.
she hasn't been caught yet. That's
How-
different.
Technically, that wouldn't be a serial killer. That would be accessory to murder. Technically.
Or murder by proxy.
Yeah.
Actually, all right. As you brought that up, and this is your fault, so don't blame me for this. What do you consider Joseph Stalin?
That would actually be an entirely different classification. That is not a serial killer.
Apparently, I saw a documentary on once. One of the things I do remember is historical psychiatrists or psychologists, whatever you call them, they consider one of his personal traits was intense narcissism.
That doesn't shock me.
Narcissism is actually very common in just humans in general.
Yeah, but when somebody's called a narcissist, that's because it is to unhealthy levels.
True.
Yes.
I mean, we all need a bit of narcissism.
But was it a diagnosis? But here's the thing.
I don't know.
There was a lot more going on with him than just narcissism.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was, about narcissism is we all need a bit of narcissism, otherwise we'll kill ourselves because of depression.
True.
Well,
Stalin wasn't human.
narcissism in itself isn't a bad thing. However, an excessive amount of literally anything can be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Like Yorkshireman.
I agree with Falcon. Stalin wasn't human, not because he was a communist, but because he's a fucking Slav.
Actually, he wasn't. He was a Russian.
Yeah, Russians are Slavic.
You tell a Russian that and see how short your life is.
By the way, do you know where the term
Challenge
Slavic
accepted.
comes from?
No, but I do know that the word slave comes from where the term Slavic comes from.
Exactly. I believe it was from the Roman era.
Yeah.
So,
but they were called Slavs before then,
were they?
aren't
Oh,
yeah.
this is interesting.
Go on.
Have any of you heard of a gentleman by the name of Harold Shipman,
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, God,
Nope.
yes.
aka Dr. Death?
Yes.
Yes.
He's actually I think he actually has the record of the most
Until
218 patients, although the total could be closer to 250.
until our eternal shame, he's English or was.
No, he's a Londoner.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Not English. I'm glad you remembered, Sam.
Well,
God,
what do you
here's another one for you.
There was actually, you know what actually got him? He wasn't
Go on.
caught until a red flag was raised by several people, which included an undertaker.
Yeah,
That's disturbing.
here's another one for you. English.
Sam,
Have you ever heard of John West?
I'm assuming
No,
you don't
Fred
mean...
West.
Oh, thank you.
Fred West.
Yes.
isn't that the guy that
Fred West.
Yeah.
That's familiar.
Him and his wife, they would let a room in their house, and
Oh,
obviously the woman-
Frederick Walter Stephen West. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, he was him and his wife were prolific serial killers.
I actually
What
yes.
made me laugh? What made me laugh is when his case came to light and what a monster he was. The amount of people that were actually boycotting John West fucking fish products.
I was going to bring
I'm
that
not
up. I'm
joking.
going to be like, wasn't that the guy that has the big fish company?
Yeah, people gonna stupid.
I thought that salmon tasted iffy.
That ain't
Actually,
fair.
if you were actually gonna compare human flesh to anything, it would actually be pork, not fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tastes
It
like...
depends.
That's right. It tastes like chicken. It has the consistency of pork. There's a
And
reason
some
they call it
parts of
long
it,
pig.
and some parts of it smell like fish.
Yeah, we'll just leave that there.
I'm not gonna. No,
I am obviously
Batman,
on
go sit in the corner.
You guys really do love giving me flashbacks to my ex.
Let's just drop that one there.
Your ex was Fred West.
No, the fish. No,
Yeah.
just tasting a fish.
All right,
Like
so
I
you
said.
went out with a mermaid.
Trust me, Batman. Trust me on this statement. If you trust me on nothing else, drop it there.
I think
Okay.
a mermaid would have had a bit more
Drop
hygiene.
what where?
Continuing this statement, and yes, I
What
completely agree
statement?
with Falcon. That is why they call it Long Pig.
Yep.
Go on, sir.
Do you know when the latest incident of cannibalism was?
I don't know, Jensen.
You mean court cannibalism was about 97,
Yes.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Nope,
Right.
it was actually a lot sooner.
Oh,
My
Hang on, let me make sure I get this right.
my phone call is probably going to be it soon, so I'm going to mute myself.
okay, mate.
I might get off quick enough to rejoin. So
Okay, you do you, mate. Look
Well,
after yourself. Speak to
I
you later.
remember.
you do.
I remember there was the guy called the crossbow cannibal. That was about what, a decade ago, Jensen.
Oh,
No, actually, the most recent
yeah.
was actually in December of 2019.
Wow.
Yep,
Okay. That I didn't expect.
it was in December 2019 when the mutilated body of, and I shit you not, the dude's name was Kevin Bacon. He was a 25-year-old hairstylist from Swartz Creek, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the killer cut off his
Oh.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. That was quite
his
obvious by the
manliness.
Mm-hmm.
Manliness. The one that more people actually know about is the one that happened in Germany.
Yes, I
just
think
a
that
few
was
years
the
ago.
97 one. Apparently, they met up, committed, shall we call it, certain acts together, both male, and basically one of them gave the option to the other one of actually killing and eating them.
Actually, they met on a website, and it is a real website on the
See you,
deep web.
Falcon.
It is called the Cannibal Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And he was actually specifically looking for someone to consume. It is actually a fetish known as vor.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it is actually a psychosexual disorder.
Okay.
And yes, it was actually one of the more interesting ones because technically that they could have actually made the argument that it was consensual.
Okay.
Because legitimately, the dude came in knowing that this was what was going to happen and participated in eating himself, which is actually another form of cannibalism.
Yeah.
There are several types of cannibalism, believe it or not.
Believe that. I'm glad they actually aren't treating cannibalism as illegal in and of itself, because after all, it's still technically cannibalism if a person has to eat parts of their own body to survive. And yes, it still can be done. Yeah. I'm glad they're not treating that as illegal.
It's actually more common. It's actually more common than you'd think.
Yeah. That sounds about fair, to be honest. I mean, obviously, the famous one is in the Andes with the aeroplane. Film Alive. That is probably the one every bugger knows.
Yeah, that was. I had a script. I knew it off the top of my head for a while.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't that strike you as about right for you?
Yeah,
what film are you talking about?
Film Alive in the Andes, where I believe it's a rugby team crashed.
Yep.
And they end up eating each other.
Yeah.
I remember watching that film.
They actually weren't charged with anything because it was considered a it's literally a massively survival situation.
I would agree. Survival situation should actually be a cover for almost every situation that could be given in this. You know, it should be preeminent, in my opinion.
I would actually say in most places it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
moving on to some other myths. If I were to say, do you all believe that you have the right to a phone call should you get arrested and charged with a crime?
In England, you do. I don't know in America.
Doku?
No.
You'd actually be correct, Doku. Well, kind of correct. Do you have the right for a phone call? Only in 11 states do they grant the arrested suspect the right to a phone call or communication with a lawyer or a loved one upon booking. This actually also goes for texting as well. In all the other states, it's actually a decision that's left up to the city and county to set the policies. Now, you do have certain constitutional rights when you're arrested, but a phone call is not necessarily one of them. You do have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. And you also have the right to say no to the police officer when they ask you, with these rights in mind, do you wish to speak to me? You can actually refuse that.
Well, I forget which case it was, but there was a good precedent set for why you don't, or for why a state or a county or even the government doesn't have to provide you the right to communicate with outside entities, is because somebody did make a phone call after getting apprehended. I forget what the crime was, but they had a companion on the outside that they made a phone call and they already had a predetermined set of words, and that person basically went out and did some other horrific shit. It wasn't like a killing spree, but they did something.
I know what you're talking about. I
I'm
can't think
gonna
of it
guess
myself.
they killed off someone they think was a snitch or something.
No, actually, no.
what
It didn't involve murder.
It involved like destroying evidence. I want to say like they burned down a building or they hid evidence or something along those lines. But nobody.
Wasn't it like a drug charge or something? It was a drug charge or something.
It was something like that, but they suspected that what the guy was being charged for was a lot more egregious, but they just didn't have any evidence to prove it. So there was an ongoing investigation. They allowed the guy a phone call, and he contacted, I guess, theoretically, because again, can't be proven, someone
Really,
else
it
who
wasn't
was
recorded?
involved. Well, it was recorded, but because they talked in such a way, like they talked in coded language, that they couldn't.
Why do I feel like this is mafia involved?
And that's the thing. They couldn't prove that they were actually saying to do this or not do this because it was, again, coded language. Like they were talking, I want to say it was like something they had for breakfast or some shit like that. And that's where that trope comes from.
Yeah.
But essentially,
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it either off the top of my head.
Yeah, it was either like they either ordered to off someone or destroy evidence. I forgot what it was, but it essentially involved in the dude getting off on a much lesser charge because they couldn't prove it in a court case. And what would have been like a felony just turned up to being like not even a misdemeanor worth jail time. And so the dude got off with like a weekend in jail and like a $100 fine or some shit.
Why do I feel like this was in the 1920s?
It was like the 30s or the 40s.
Yep. It was mafia related. 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Yeah, kind of does scream it, doesn't it?
Well, and that's the reason that they no longer consider you have the right to contact anyone on the outside. Like, no, you could easily pull that same stunt where you could just use coded language.
There was something similar actually. Only 49 states actually, at least last I checked, actually allowed death row inmates to have a last meal. Okay. Do you know why that is?
Because peanut allergy.
No.
I'm going to assume it's based on the prisoner actually asking something absolutely ridiculous.
Nope.
There's a lot. Okay, go on then.
Let me make sure I get the name right.
Yep.
Sorry for that.
No worries.
Okay. Death row inmates in Texas do not get a last meal because of one man.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can get that. Come on. Stupid thing. Oh no, it's just, for some reason, it's being stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a 49-year-old African-American man from Texas. His name was James Byrd Jr., who was brutally murdered by 3 men.
Mm-hmm.
While Byrd was actually still alive, the perpetrators had tied his ankles to the back of his pickup truck and dragged him for about 3 miles. Byrd was decapitated in the process by a drain pipe.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the most egregious crimes of its era. And in fact, it is, in my opinion, one of the few things that I would actually consider a hate crime, because I do not like, I don't like that term.
Yeah.
Because it's based solely on motive, and it is so fucking hard to base something solely on motive, because there's usually multiple motives, there's multiple motivations for such a crime. But this one actually could be capitalized with it was a hate crime, because that they admitted to it. And this is actually what set the precedent for what constitutes as a hate crime. Now, 2 of Byrd's 3 assailants were sentenced to death. The third was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. However, Lawrence Russell Brewer, he was actually executed by the state of Texas on September 21st, 2011. He is the one who actually ruined the last meal for everyone in Texas.
Now you
Why?
all know who to blame.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't me.
This is what he ordered: 2 chicken fried steaks with gravy and sliced onions, a triple patty bacon cheeseburger, a cheese omelet with ground beef, tomatoes, onions, bell peppers, and jalapenos, a bowl of fried okra with ketchup, 1 pound of barbecued meat with half a loaf of white bread, 3 fajitas, a meat lover's pizza, 1 pint of Bluebell ice cream, a slab of peanut butter
pint?
fudge with crushed peanuts.
A fucking pint.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's an American.
And 3 root beers. This was granted. This cost hundreds of dollars. When it was given to him, Brewer claimed he was not hungry and ate none of it.
Why does that not shock me?
Was this his last meal, was it?
Yes.
Yep.
Wow, that's a piss take. That is a
absolutely.
dick move.
In fairness,
Yep.
if I was going to get executed the next morning by the government, I think I'd do something like that just to spite them.
If I was getting executed the
well,
next
no,
morning,
because he's actually ruined it, and for the entire state of Texas now, death row inmates do not get a last meal.
If it had been me, my order would have been a banquet of the spiciest burritos you can get me. Because the following morning, you know that as I'm being led out to that gas chamber, I'm going to be gassing everybody else on the way.
Actually, there's actually something funny about that. There's only 2 places that have actually used a gas chamber as a way of execution.
Oh God, it'd be even funny if I was getting a chair, because one spark and the entire place is going up. Oh, sorry, Sam. I just couldn't resist that.
I'm gonna hit all of you.
Oh, yeah, my phone call. It was just like Ms.Murder. It was short and sweet. I said something nice about you.
You're not getting no. You're not gonna try and fucking sweet talk your way out of this. Not working.
Ms.Murder, if you let me out of this, I will hog tie Yorkie for you.
No,
I
he'll
agree
enjoy
with
it too
him.
much.
No, I'm actually totally okay with this. And to be fair, Yorkie will probably enjoy it too.
Hey, don't call me out like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hmm.
I will call you out all I want.
Fair enough. I will just shoot him with a knockout dart and have him delivered to your doorstep in a box.
I don't want him.
Oh,
Yeah, but
think
you
of
can
the fun
torture
you
him.
can have.
No,
Yeah.
he'll enjoy it.
Don't kink shame me.
No, like I said, you keep him in a room, and every day you go in and you show him all of your knives, all of your axes. All of your
No, again, he'll
torture
enjoy
implements.
it too much.
No, you won't,
Oh,
because
no,
you
he
keep
won't.
saying, "Look at all these things," and you're never going to fail a one of them.
Oh,
That's just
the
me.
Donner party.
true
Actually,
sadist.
the Donner party actually
Wasn't he
never had any cannibalism with it.
wasn't he the serial killer who invented the kebab?
No, that was Jeffrey Dahmer, not the Donner party.
She doesn't get it, does she?
No.
I'm gonna slap you. I'm just gonna slap
Yes.
you.
Good
I
choice.
like Donner
It's easier.
kebabs.
I actually heard when I said that. I actually heard Jensen lick his lips.
He would. He would.
And I
I'm
am
not denying it.
But no, in the chat they put the Donner party. That
Yeah.
actually had nothing to do with cannibalism.
That's interesting because I heard it did, but
It was
willing to be wrong.
actually it was one news headline
Mhm.
that actually stated that they had almost had to resort to cannibalism.
Yeah, it was that South American football team that got stranded in the Andes.
It was a rugby team, not football.
Sure,
Yeah.
it was a football team.
No,
Rugby.
I heard
It was
rugby
rugby.
as well.
It was rugby. It was definitely a rugby
Yeah.
one. No,
No, I know
the
some-
Donner party was in the United States.
Yeah, those ones
I
are
know,
different parts
Doku,
completely.
I know for a fact Sam doesn't care about sports ball, so this won't offend her. But Doku, you know what rugby is, right? It's
Yeah.
that version of American football that men play.
I made
You
that
assume we
comment
still
once.
watch. You assume we still watch the NFL.
Not anymore. No, God, no.
That reminds me, are they still doing that take the knee bollocks? Or have they finally
Yeah.
given up with it?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
No.
Yeah, they're clinging to it.
Well, that's
The Nancy
well,
Fairy League.
I can't put this up on my channel now
What?
because of Yorkie's comment right there.
It's actually
You
easy
can
to do,
edit
you
it
just cut
out.
Yeah, you just edit. It's
Yeah,
My
it's a
comment.
pain in the ass.
Yeah,
What
just
did I say?
just to be safe, whenever you see Yorkie's Yorkie's icon light up when you're editing, just cut it out.
That's harsh.
But true.
Nowhere near that
No,
bad.
Yorkie, I have to
No,
be
no.
extra careful with this stuff because of where I work.
Yes, she
Unfortunately,
has to.
yeah, I do
I mean,
agree there.
just don't show your videos to people you work with.
It doesn't matter. They might watch it.
Yeah.
You never know who's watching.
Yeah,
Actually, you
That's-
should do like a special, just literally just clip everything I say and see how racist you can string them together.
I don't want to get fired,
You could upload it as one of Jensen's videos.
This is
but it's on
actually a
his
statement.
channel.
It is my channel, but
You could have it unlisted so only people with a link could watch it.
have you noticed how
Yeah.
we're coming up with all these different things that we could do, or she could just simply do it anyway and just
You could also hack the algorithm and upload it on Doku's channel, get him banned.
Shh. Actually, we found out he doesn't even have a channel. Though
Yeah.
we do know Batman does. What does
Yeah.
I do? No.
Yeah, I do. And yeah, great. Get me
Yeah,
banned
that-
from streaming. It doesn't mean I'll not be able to come on other people's.
I know that's the best part of this. They
Yeah.
can
Did you know
ban
up
as much
in
as they like.
Did you know up in
Um,
Canada there's actually a restaurant where you can actually order the last meals of those who have been on death row?
I did not know that.
Ms.Murder. I'm really glad you went further than. Do you know that up in Canada there's a restaurant?
I was actually imagining she was going to say that there's a restaurant up there that does, shall we call, well, actually, just blunt, long pig. Because apparently there is supposed to be I have no idea where, and this is purely something I heard in passing. But apparently there is actually a restaurant where you can actually eat human flesh.
Are you sure that this is true and it's not just one of your drug-induced fantasies?
I wish it was.
What, true?
But actually, no. Yeah, because, I mean, in all fairness, if it is real, it'd be awesome.
Actually, up until the 70s, Jensen, you would find this interesting. In Papua New Guinea, in one of the more tribal areas, I forget which one.
It's the one where Curry turned up.
Yeah, they actually, up until the 70s, they actually had necro-cannibalism as a part of their funeral ritual.
Yeah, funerary cannibalism, but they didn't just stop at eating the flesh. They
ate the brain.
That was the most important part, and that's where Kuru came from.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how long it takes, though, for Kuru to actually show symptoms?
It can be anywhere up to 20 years, I believe.
Nope, it's actually longer than that. It can be anywhere between a few weeks to, I think the longest was about 50 years.
That's about the same for mad cow disease. Well, it's basically the same, exact same.
It is. It's human mad cow disease. That's literally what it is.
Yeah, and it's only technically disease because what causes it isn't alive, yet kind of acts like a living thing.
It's a prion disease.
Yeah, rogue protein, like you said, prions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they replicate, they basically feed. Yet they're not alive. It's just a chemical reaction.
I do have a list of just a few of the death row last meals if y'all want to hear them.
Go for it.
Hold on a second. I've got a comment for Yorkie here. Hear that, Yorkie? A chemical reaction gone wild that feeds and reproduces but isn't alive. Kind of describes Lancashire, doesn't it?
Yeah. Where do you think I'm trying to break into Trident?
Because you want to be the next Aquaman?
No.
Not that kind of Trident. I do have some standards, you know.
I don't know. I think you look good in an orange shirt and green pants.
No comment.
That is a visual I didn't need.
I would never touch green. My dad's a Rangers fan. He'd kill me.
With waves slowly rising above you.
Doku, if you're capable, do share that because it's highly amusing.
Okay, give me a moment.
Okay. And yes, Doku is my sharing person. Deal with it.
I just thought something about Doku.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds like what MC would sound like if you had a volume control.
That's a horrifying thought.
Now I'm just trying to remember if I've actually heard Doku go on about drone striking Arabs.
Probably not.
There you go. If you ever do decide you want to eat people, after all, this is connecting quite nicely with a true crime.
Do you know what would be even better with this one?
You need to know.
You know what would be even better with the number one? Not available in the United States or Scotland.
And since we were on about this, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it's well known fact that you don't eat the brain, you don't eat the spinal column. They are the two major points to stay away from.
Yep. To a lesser extent, anything that's got nerves running through it, which is all the meat.
Yeah. I know, but they are the two that you really avoid.
Vegans say meat's bad for you because you can get all these diseases and parasites from it. Because I was arguing with the vegan once, I did some research. You can get just as many diseases and parasites from eating vegetables, cooked or raw.
Yep.
And in all fairness, Doku, I might get in trouble for this statement, especially with you, but if they did that to your liver, it is already pre-pickled. Let's be fair.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that's something else I found that it's not all Americans, but it is some Americans that seem to have a certain snobbery when it comes to certain types of meat. Jensen, you like a bit of pork lunch tongue, don't you?
Oh yes.
Or even beef lunch tongue. There's some Americans turn their nose up at it. That's only for poor people.
If you're talking about spam, that is
lunch tongue.
stop.
It's where you get the tongue of an animal and you press
That
it.
I'm sorry, I can't. I refuse to eat anything that has the ability to taste me back.
It doesn't have this been processed. Or
I'm
kidney.
sorry, I can't get over the fact that it's a tongue. I'm sorry, I can't.
Hey, even kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm going to eat the thing that filters out urine through the body. That's disgusting.
That
Come on
is
now.
true.
Or liver, heart.
By the way, have you actually noticed how much of the food sources are actually part of the cleansing system? Has anyone realised this?
Oh, you mean like the liver?
Liver, no thank you. Heart, only if I will absorb the food's courage.
Oh, don't tell me. The heart only is your enemies.
The living heart of your enemies. Sorry.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to eat it out of their skull. Come on now.
Yeah, but if you tried that
Not
with me, all that would happen is you would choke on it.
That's unfortunately true.
Because
you don't eat it all at once.
It doesn't matter. The veins in the meat would expand and wrap around your esophagus. I would have my revenge.
Technically, the same thing happened with I believe it was a South Korean father who was eating basically a Korean delicacy, live octopus.
Oh, I've got one for you.
Please tell me it was a blue-ringed octopus.
No, no, it was not.
Shame.
I've got one.
That's actually something that doesn't get eaten. Surprisingly, even though one thing that's almost just as no, it is surprising because you know what else is a delicacy that is almost just as poisonous?
Go on.
Pufferfish.
A pufferfish.
Oh yeah.
There is a renowned dish that is served to, apparently, legend has it. I think that's all it is a legend. Is served to either the bravest of the brave or assassins.
Are we talking fugu?
Yeah, it's the one that's made with every poisonous fish.
Mm-hmm.
But if you eat it all in the correct portions, you'll survive the meal.
Yeah.
But I've got one for you, Ms.Murder. You've seen The Lost Boys, right?
The movie.
Yeah, I believe if we're talking about the same Lost Boys, yes.
Yeah, the movie. With Kiefer Sutherland there, that fucking bloke.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Sutherland's son.
Yep, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know David?
Yeah.
The eldest son. Well, you know that bit where they've got the Chinese food?
Yep.
No. If he was an Aborigine and Kiefer Sutherland goes, David, you're eating maggots. They look down and go, oh, pass the salt.
Yeah. That's right. Fairly standard food. In all fairness.
I've only seen that movie once, so.
I've seen it a load of times.
I've seen it more than a few, to say the least. The whole point is that he puts illusions on the rice so as they look like maggots. I would like it noticed that maggots are actually a good thing. If you get a wound and it has maggots growing out of it, that's theoretically a good thing because it's eating dead, rotted flesh.
They actually use them and leeches. Actually, they still use leeches in certain situations.
But for the correct reasons, not because I think getting rid of blood heals you.
Yeah.
Oh no! Actually, what it does is it encourages blood flow to those areas.
Yeah. I'm going to accept that.
But here, these are the last meals that I was able to find.
Yes.
For Timothy McVeigh,
Mm-hmm.
He was the infamous Oklahoma City bomber.
Mm-hmm.
He was charged with 168 counts of murder after bombing a federal building. His last meal, he requested 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
Can you imagine if... Go ahead, finish your list. I'll go with my silly comment.
Okay. Another one was Adolf Eichmann. He was one of the key organizers of the Holocaust, implicating him in the deaths of literal millions. He actually had a rather interesting one. All he requested was a bottle of red wine. He went out hammered.
Yeah, I do want to ask, was there anything unusual about said red wine? Because after all...
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Nope. He actually, honestly, I want to say he was one of the few that actually admitted to being guilty, but I could be totally wrong.
He was.
If you're going to go out, you might as well go out like a classy lad.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they were not. I mean, most of them didn't admit to it because they didn't want to be killed, but none of them were ashamed of what they did.
Actually,
I think at the end, a few of them were.
Actually, there was one of them that managed to get off because a lot of the survivors of Auschwitz. Well, I can't remember if it was Auschwitz itself or a different camp, but a lot of people that were in there actually stood up for one of the scientists because he actually tried his best to spare them and keep them alive.
Probably Belson.
I can't remember. It was the only one that didn't get it.
I think you might actually be right, Batman. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, because Auschwitz was by far and away the worst of all of the camps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was the other one? What was the other one?
I'll name that tune in 7.
I only know Auschwitz and Belsen, to be fair.
Treblinka was one as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it was there was one in Poland, and then there was another one nearby.
No worries. So,
it was like DOS something.
No, not ringing a bell. Sorry.
I can't think of it. Anyway.
Have any of them ever actually asked when it comes to like last meals or something really weird? As in to the degree...
Actually, yes.
Cool.
Actually, yes.
You tell.
Let me get down to it. Okay.
Yes.
So this was actually Victor Fugger. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. He was the last person to be executed in Iowa. He was charged with murder after abducting and killing a doctor. His last meal, he requested a single olive with the pit left in. This was actually a belief that he held. It was a very old one. He believed that the pit would grow an olive tree inside of him, and it would grow out through his grave, ironically symbolizing peace. And he did eat it whole.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to ask, and I may get dirty looks for this, but why do none of these people go for something simple like the psychoactive mushrooms? Because you are still technically eating.
Because it can't be what is considered a narcotic.
Can you imagine if the law was whatever you asked for your last meal had to be provided?
There was a...
Hold on. If that was the case, literally whatever you asked for your last meal had to be provided, I would look at the state governor with an evil smile and say, I want your wife's liver.
Yeah, that's probably why they won't do it. Oh, God.
There is... Now, a lot of people say that this was a hoax, but there's some some bit of disagreement here. This was actually a Texas cannibal pedophile.
Yeah.
I think I know where you're going with this one.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
veal.
Yeah. His name was Doug Steffener, and allegedly he asked for a small boy as for his last meal.
Yeah, I've
No.
seen like
hey.
screenshots saying that stuff. Like I've seen that stuff floating about,
Yeah.
but I don't know how true it is.
If I'd been in charge of the prison, I would have said certainly, and then forced him to eat a small maritime beacon.
Exactly.
Well,
Wording is very important.
I'll post a list in the private chat of the death camp names.
Ah, exquisite.
Yeah, so there you go, Jensen. You've got a package tour for you.
Yeah.
But personally, if I was one of the prison guards, I'd have just blown his cock off and
Yes, I've heard
and
that.
cauterized it.
Hold on, you would have blown his cock off.
I
Yeah,
think
with a gun.
Be careful saying things like that with us around.
But no, there is some debate of whether or not that was a hoax, because there was some accounts where it
Probably
said
was.
something different, or there was a voodoo priest who actually requested a certain type of dirt for his last meal, and they denied it because it was not a food item, and also because it would have broken the budget. Funny enough. No, it was actually a very specific ritualistic type of dirt that is used in voodoo rituals. Basically, what it does is you use the dirt to write symbols on your body, and it prevents your soul from becoming trapped in the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually not an uncommon belief, but they denied it. They're like, look, we can't do that because you have to eat a meal. And so he settled on a cup of yogurt.
So what you're saying is that prison was literally dirt poor.
Do you know? Oh,
You
No,
know, he's
because
not
it was
wrong with that statement.
it was a type of soil that is not found in the United States.
Yeah. See, Batman,
Yeah.
you're not the only one that can make those jokes.
that wasn't a dad joke. That was the "you should be dead" joke.
Same thing.
Yes.
Ain't that just all my jokes?
No, actually, that one was better than the usual joke.
Not by
Actually,
much.
Truth be told, Yorkie, well done for that one, man. Okay.
No, joking
Seriously,
apart,
I
yeah,
quite like that. That was fun.
it was quick.
You see, I can't make jokes other than genocide and racism.
This is good.
No,
No,
you
no, no, no,
can't.
no. Those the genocide jokes. That's mine. That's mine. You back off.
The racism jokes, they're mine and your and Jensen's.
Get fucked.
I'm not racist. I want to kill all humans. Nothing
Okay,
to do with what
speciesist.
type they are. True. Fair point.
Oh, here's John Wayne Gacy's.
Go on.
He was actually a former KFC manager. So he murdered 33 young men and boys.
Yep.
And this is while he was dressed like a clown, aka the killer clown.
Oh, that guy.
His last meal was 12 fried shrimp, a bucket of KFC fried chicken, French fries, and a pound of strawberries.
Do you know what you could do? You know,
That actually sounds like a really good meal, to be honest.
Yorkie got me thinking about this. Say you capture a suicide bomber from the religion of peace before he bombs,
Yes.
and your state has a death penalty. What you could do before you execute him, just to send a message, is make him unclean in the eyes of his God.
That would actually be against United States law.
I didn't say United States. I said if your state, like your country.
He didn't give definition. But no, she's right,
perfect.
actually.
Yeah.
Most first world countries actually do have laws preventing such a thing,
Yes.
because
I
it
don't-
falls under cruel and unusual punishment
So
and discrimination and religious discrimination.
but so's being a concert and getting blown up just because you don't follow his religion.
Oh no, you are correct. I completely agree with you.
I mean, if I
problem
caught
is-
one of the goits, that's exactly what I'd do.
I'm
Yes,
not going
but
to define what I would do, but then again, that's because we're dealing with Ms.Murder.
Well, after I'd made him unclean,
Mhm.
then my next call would be over to you, Jensen. Yorkie.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a good thing.
In that case,
No,
since we're
over to you,
talking about this
Jensen and
stuff,
Yorkie.
Guys,
let's not.
yeah.
I was actually going to make a genuine question. Since we're on this subject, what would you guys have for the last meal?
Oh, that's a good one.
Uh,
No, I'm actually going to ask this very seriously. What are the rules of last meal? Before
it
we
has
actually
to
do it?
be. It has to be something that
Careful.
isn't. It has to be one. It has to be something that does not involve human flesh. And
Okay. So
hate to say, Jensen, but that is actually no. People, I guarantee you, people have tried that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a no. It has to be actual food.
Can I go first then?
Go on.
Go for it.
Right. Gently boiled, mashed, and buttered potatoes. Right.
Type.
Right.
Yeah, what type?
No. We want the type, mate.
King Edward.
Because the German potato does not apply.
King
Because
Edward.
after all, there are lots. Okay.
A good head of lettuce. Boiled to finish, but not to so it loses its crispness. Right.
Yep.
A nice rack of lamb, roasted on white. Oh, what do you call it? White radishes. So the the radishes absorb all the juices of the meat. Use the remaining juice to make a nice, thick, rich gravy. 4 Yorkshire puddings, and that would do me. Oh yes, and a pint of whatever my favourite beer is at the time I'm about to be killed.
Okay. Yorkie.
Well, my rules would have just been if it's something that's ingestible. I was actually going to say a pint of absinthe and a pint of PCP, just so when the prison guards have to
No, it
retrieve
can't
me,
be.
they're
It can't be
gonna.
narcotic.
So I would actually
Can't
argue
have hallucinogenics.
that rule. Go on, Yorkie.
No, just the reason being, just so we can all see how much damage someone could cause whilst on that.
Not much, because the absinthe is going to make you unconscious after you've drunk a pint of it. In fact, it's going to make you dead.
Statement.
Well, actually, if you mix PCP with absinthe, actually the chemical reaction would probably kill you.
Yeah.
Not before I kill half the fucking ward first.
No, actually, the
that'll be
absinthe is a lot stronger than the PCP.
That's worrying, but
but no, absinthe. You drink enough of actually, no, you wouldn't even get to take the PCP.
Yeah, he's drinking
because the absinthe alone would literally put it to you this way: a full pint of that, an eighth of it would make you really drunk. Any more of that would probably kill you.
Can I interject here? I think Yorkie's on about the rather weak, watered down absinthe that is legal in the UK now, not the absinthe you're talking about, which was illegal in most countries at one point because it's basically death in a green bottle.
I like that stuff though. It's much nicer.
Actually, mobsters used to put that shit in their
cars,
bootleg alcohol to make it stronger.
I would actually like to argue with you about the no narcotic statement if they're allowing wine. After all, anything
wine is not a narcotic.
And they're also not allowing you enough to get drunk because they want you to experience everything.
Okay, now that's a modification to the rule, and I'm okay with that statement.
It's also an explanation of the rules.
Technically, alcohol is not a narcotic. It's not classified as one.
I mean, that being said, technically, I'm the one that made the question. So if I was going to make the rules, it would have been as long as it's something that's ingestible.
Yeah.
So,
at that
so you
point,
can't just
might as well-
order. So you can't order like a pile of bricks or.
Yeah. To be honest, if it's anything that classes it as ingestible while still not allowed to be human flesh, you might as well just take magic mushrooms and go wee, and who cares what happens to you?
Actually, Jensen, since it's ingestible, but you're not allowed to have human flesh, you could eat Doku.
Good point.
Wow, that was a cheap
We
shot.
all know he is actually Homo superior.
Yes.
See, it wasn't a cheap
a
shot.
valid point.
I was actually complimenting him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a valid
Doku,
point.
what is your last meal?
Okay, that saves me the trouble of having to ask what we're doing. Would you like the piss take first?
Yes.
No. Well, no. Actually, we're doing this. This is very serious. This is not
Yeah.
a joke. What is your last meal? The only limitations are apparently, and I'm still arguing this in some way, you may not take any form of narcotic, but apparently alcohol is acceptable.
But no,
Ha-
Alcohol, as I've said, alcohol is not considered a narcotic.
yeah,
I
but
know.
I believe the rules is they're not allowed to get drunk. Yeah, you can't.
No,
take
you can get drunk. You can get
Okay.
drunk.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
You can get drunk.
That's
Just
what I'm using as
it
my
can't be what is technically a narcotic.
and no human flesh.
Well, again, the piss take would be just bring me 3 bottles of 151, and we'll see if I survive the night.
Yeah, you'd actually be allowed that.
That's what's worrying.
But if that's not the case, it would have to be. Well, if it were to happen right now, I would probably want I'd probably want fugu because I've never had it, and if it kills me because somebody prepared it wrong, then
You're dead
nothing.
anyway. What the heck?
Nothing gained, nothing lost.
And this is where you find out that they didn't tell you how you're going to get executed.
Again, nothing gained, nothing lost. So yeah, I guess I would try raw pufferfish at least once.
Oh,
But if that
Method of execution on the sesh.
I've got.
Sorry.
Okay, Sam.
Yeah, my
yours.
phone kind of glitched out for a second.
Don't worry about it.
But real quick, if I wasn't allowed to have
Who's
Sam,
echoing?
by the way, you're
Sam?
echoing.
Mm.
You're
Yeah,
echoing, Sam.
I kind of can't help that.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Echo.
Let me try something.
Someone was going to do that. You knew that was coming.
I was just about to say it as well, you bastard.
You should have done it directly after mine, so your echo and my echo would have joined.
True. We would have had an echo.
If it's still happening when she comes back, we all do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I couldn't get fugu, then
Incoming.
I would just want.
Echo.
Honestly, I would probably just.
Can't fix that, man, from here.
No, you're good. You're good now. It's
good.
Yeah.
It's a pity because we were all going to do it if you came back. You select wing, and if you hadn't come back in time, I would have suggested Jensen, Doku, me, then Yorkie. So we would have it all set up, and you would scream at us and hate us forever.
But it would have been fun.
No, I would just hate you.
Yeah, I can live with that.
And probably Yorkie.
Yorkie can live with that.
But yeah, no. If I couldn't,
well,
if I couldn't get fugu, I would want just a bowl of turtle soup and a nice steak. That's it.
What kind of turtle?
Steak.
Sea turtle, freshwater turtle, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Well, traditionally, Creole style turtle soup is always used snapper meat.
Okay.
Sam, if you decide to hate me, that means I'm free to go and tell Sharati that you want to make up.
No.
Ew.
Right? You hate me, I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, you do. Yes,
No, I
you
don't.
do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. What have I got to lose?
Children. Thank you. Ms.Murder, what is your preferred last meal, given the rules that you set?
I would like a very nice, an actually perfectly cooked steak
Again,
with some garlic mashed potatoes.
Please stop doing what a lot of people do. Give me specifics. A steak. Does that mean a lump of meat?
No,
Barbecue lump of meat? Right.
She did
Come on.
say grilled.
a sirloin steak
Thank you.
or filet mignon, either one. Medium rare, and I mean actually medium rare, not medium well.
No.
I would be so pissed. You don't understand. I've had so many people go, "Oh, it's the same thing." No, it's fucking not.
Agree.
Yeah, medium rare's got a wince when you stick the fork in it.
Okay,
There's
you're all about to call me a snob.
You're a snob.
There, well, at least we got that out of the way.
Not yet.
I want an 8-ounce sirloin of Wagyu from the Hokkaido region of Japan.
You can't have it.
I would also go with Wagyu steak as well, to be perfectly honest, if it could be anything.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You set the limitation, remember?
Oh,
Get it from the Hokkaido region. It's also known as a Japanese snow beef. It is one of the best fucking steaks I've ever had in my life.
I've got an even better one for you. If the warden, right, has a dog.
I want your
if the governor has a dog. Yeah, I want to eat the governor's dog, and I want him to watch while I eat it.
Stop.
Yes. No harming doggies. Mine's actually a very simple one, given, again, the limitations that you set. I would want 2 litres of Dr. Pepper and 1 litre of Jack Daniels, and I'd be a happy bunny.
Actually, that's actually not. That would actually be a request that would actually be given.
6 extra spicy burritos and 1 Coke.
Wait, what if I want 2 rolls of Mentos and a bottle of Dr. Pepper?
The Coke is not what I think it's for.
You know what? You can deal with that. You know what? At that point, it'd be like, you know what? That's going to kill you anyway. Go for it.
This is a fair statement. But no,
there's a few other ones though that are interesting.
If I had a peanut allergy, I would just request for a PB&J.
Yes.
I've seen that meme before.
Just to be a dick, because it'd be funny.
You know, at that point, I'm just that's actually something. I think people have actually tried that, and they just delayed the execution.
So, what would you do? Right, this sounds silly, but you can't actually take this as a serious question. Yeah, you die, right? The final curtain draws up. You feel your last breath leave your body. Your mind grows dark, and then, flashing in front of you are the words "Game over."
I'd be super pissed.
Honestly, I would mentally pat my pockets and wait for and see if I could find the extra coins.
Fair enough.
Hippity hoppity.
Yeah.
My first call would be, I hope I'm not Billy fucking Doyle.
Actually, now that I think about it, rabbit stew would actually be something else I would throw on my my menu of last meal.
I just like this game. It had good graphics, but the mechanics and the balancing was shit. I'll rate it a 4 out of 10.
I'm okay with this statement.
Yeah.
So what are you telling me?
Well, so much for my true crime shit.
Oh yeah. Yorkie, what you're telling me is it's Cyberpunk 2077. That's what you're saying, right?
Oh, you want that? No, because I said the graphics were good.
Hey, the graphics are supposed to be good if they work.
The graphics are good if you have.
Not really.
No, I'm serious. If you have the right computer,
they
are good.
The further you get into the game, the more the graphics tend to deteriorate, though.
Ah, okay.
We are on about life, right?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
And have you noticed there's never an update?
No, they never tell you about an update.
And about roughly every 16 hours, you get this awful amount of lag.
This is also true.
And actually, well, there is technically a kind of update, more like events. You know, i.e., the fucking lockdown event. They really should have kicked that off after 2 weeks because nobody. It had a poor rating.
Where are the special rewards?
We're not all SJWs, dude. We're not having special awards.
No. If this is a game and lockdown is a special event, there's usually special rewards. Rewards, not awards.
You get a gold. You get a golden breathing mask.
No, you're supposed to get power ups and stuff like that, or limited edition vehicles and shit like that.
Fair point. Well, if there is there any more to do, Ms.Murder? Because we've been going for 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, there was, but you know what? Fuck it at this point.
Okay.
Just got derailed like hell.
Sorry.
Oh yes, it's pretty
I
standard.
actually thought you had finished. Otherwise, I wouldn't have.
No, nowhere near. But whatever.
We'll go for part 2.
Do you know what this means? I was going to say you've got more material for another one.
Yes.
And this time,
Yeah,
Jensen,
but the thing is, I don't like streaming.
Yeah, but this time Jensen won't give me the link.
This is not necessarily an unreasonable statement. Well, ladies and gentlemen. Yes? You had something to say, huh?
I was just saying, go ahead,
Okay.
Jensen.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoyed what passes for insanity for the group of us, which is quite funny when you work on the idea of discussing insanity as one of the first things of the stream. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself, and I will see you all later. Thank you very much for coming, people, and thank you very much for the suggestion, Ms.Murder. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.